Hello, everyone. Welcome back to where I turn pictures from my Italy trip into builds on Minecraft. We're live today, and we're going to test out my new setup while we turn this build behind me into a Minecraft build. Well, let's get started. We can see over here there's quite a number of blocks that we can use in the wide palette of grey blocks we have in Minecraft. And I'd like to start by making a palette. So like that, we have the basic tools to start building. We can start with the basics, mainly gray blocks, such as light gray wool and concrete powder. We can eventually use concrete, but I think since this is very a light gray, we might lean into more of these, including stuff like andesite, if I can find it, which might be a good fit for this case. Goes into more of a bluish tone rather than this greenish, more reddish maybe gray. But if we see compared to here, these might go good together. We can also use, I think we can also use coral possibly for these small parts over here. So if we were to use this dead fire coral, we might be able to get something that looks good. We can also use possibly clay, if we can find it. Also moss might be a good thing, but that's really dark. Not sure. There is a bit of red over here we can see, like where bricks might show, which we can use either cinnabar or actual bricks in this case. We can use that maybe too to blend it in. We can also use, actually, I think that might be good. And then for the roof, seeing that it's not really showing in the image, we can just base it off deep slate, seeing it's a cool color compared to these mute colors. We can use deep slate, as we have polished deep slate slabs, possibly even pale oak wood might be good, or maybe even basalt. If we just use like a mix of these, yeah, we can use for the details. We have a lot of different windows. Like these catch more light and they look more orangey. These are very gray, and these are ornate metal bards. So what we can do to make that look good, we can use a trick using banners. So we get that like frame we can see over here in the middle, and we can pair it up with either some bars, which we can see. Let's see. If this is straight, and let's say we just surround it in those. We'll put maybe these in the back. And then this is covering it. To the best, we can do something else. If we broke this off, that's not too bad. I think if there's maybe any other block we can use, let's see. We could go with possibly a spawner. For example, this, maybe. No, Trying to find something that looks ornate, not too full of a block. Well, we'll see the details later, but yeah. Let's start by first finding out the proportions of this. If we start by saying how much windows exactly, if we make these maybe 2 blocks wide each, we already have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And these have 1 block between them, we can say, and these can fit another window, so that's 2 blocks. So we get our wool here. Let's put it over here. Start from here. Have 1 block or maybe 2 blocks, 2 blocks on the sides. You have the space for a window, 1 block, another window. Over here, we said we'll put 2 blocks. There's another window, 2 blocks, window, block, window, and another 2 blocks. Now, like that, we get quite a wide frame. So maybe if we make these windows smaller, maybe this gap. Hmm, let's see, let's see. We could make this just 1 block. And like that, if we go over here, we have 18, so it is in the even. Doesn't really matter, seeing that we're not making the angle of the roof over here, so it's on the other side, it's on the length rather than the width. So I think if we go with something like this might look good. Now, the height between here we can say is around 2 blocks. So it's there, and then you'll have the window, let's say. So if we raise these and then place these just to symbolize where we're going to have our windows, which will also be 2 blocks tall. Now, seeing that this is semi wider than it is tall, we have to keep that proportion in mind too. Now, if we raise these, let's yeah, so we can add these. Like that, we can think of how they will look exactly. So now we can start by thinking level wise. We can raise this part more so we can think of the other windows in this case. So now that we have those So let's get back to it. We can start by working on the upper level now that we've got this settled. I think maybe we can add some of these just to make it highlighted. Look nice. Maybe we can remove some of this and replace it. Just like that. It's not going for me. I think if I just not exaggerated just a little bit more. Yeah, I think that looks sort of good. Let's see. Maybe on the top parts. I think on the top parts it looks best. So if we do it closer to this, maybe over here, I think that looks way better. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Now what we can do is work on this part, like I said. So yeah, we can also see now that over here there's like an extrusion. I don't know how I can really make that look good. Possibly what I can do is just change maybe a lighting on it. So let's start with the texture on this. We can do possibly just, like I said, some tough and some of this too. And what we can do is then use glass to give it that like barry look. So I'll use that, and now actually what we can do is this. Then if we do it like that, we might get a look of bars possibly. So the best. Now let's see. It's not the best look, to be honest. Now what we can do is work. I think it's not the best. I think maybe if we do possibly some of this.